Getting back into this. My name is Matthew Shinneman. I am the Director of Lifespan Faith Development here at UUCY, and it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. The story that I'm sharing with you is one that takes place many, many years ago, back when dragons and fairies roamed the earth. And it is a story about the goddess Ôstara. Now you see, she was the goddess of springtime. And she held a festival every day, first day of spring. And she welcomed the signs of new life coming from the harsh winter. What are some signs of new life that we see in nature after harsh winters? Robins, daffodils, crocuses, the hyacinths, the birds chirping. Forsythia, yes. As you can tell, the world lets us know that it is coming back. And especially during this time, as we've dealt with 2+ years of it, it is important for us to remember that life comes back. So this festival that Ôstara held, she invited children and all the animals to come, and they all brought gifts. And one year, on the day before the festival, there was the hare. Now you see, the hare wasn't the most well-off individual, and he really wanted to give the goddess a gift, but he could barely even provide for himself sometimes, let alone provide a gift for a goddess. So he was out searching through the forest, and he came across a fresh egg. And just as he sat down to begin to eat this meal, he suddenly stopped, and he thought to himself, this would be the perfect gift for the goddess Ôstara. So Hare went home, and Hare decorated the egg as lavishly as he could, and the next day, he showed up to the festival, first day of spring, and all the animals and the children were there in this festive mode, but Hare just kind of walked sheepishly up to the goddess. He wasn't really sure if the egg would be sufficient enough. But when the goddess saw the egg, knowing that it is the symbol of new life and birth, she smiled wide. And she accepted that gift, seeing that Hare had decorated it with the dyes of roses and other flowers, and then sealed it with beeswax, and it was nice and shiny, and she thought it was beautiful. Now you see, the goddess also knew that Hare was not an individual of many means. And so the goddess said to Hare, "I have a job for you. And it's the only thing you'll have to do all year. You can come and live with me. And every year, from thenceforth, the hare, and then the hare's descendants, created colorful eggs to be shared amongst the entire world to children and animals alike, celebrating the return of spring and new life. Blessed be, and amen."
My blood doth rise in the roots of yon oak, the sap doth run in my veins, boundless my soul like the open sky, where the stars forever have lain, where the stars, where the stars, where the stars forever have lain. So today, instead of a reading, we're going to present you with a ritual for Ôstara. Today on our altar, we have included the symbolic hair for Ôstara and other welcoming beacons of spring. We will now plant a seed of intention for this congregation. I encourage you to do the same this week. Plant a seed of your favorite herb or flower or vegetable and bless it with the intention of abundance. During this time, I invite you to take a deep breath. Close your eyes, seek a moment of peace while you listen to this ritual. I charge this soil of earth with positive energy, the energy of God and the goddess, so what springs forth from it shall be positive and be a product of their love. It shall grow and thrive and follow the cycle of life, so mote it be. When you're at home, take your trowel and shovel soil into the pot until it's about halfway full. Take the seeds. Today we plant a sunflower seed. Place them upon the soil and shovel more dirt over them. As you plant them, meditate on their meanings. Think of them as goals for this year that you wish to bloom. And after you've finished, say, with these seeds shall come life from darkness into the light, and so shall my goals. So mote it be.
Welcome. 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 It's good to see you all. Today is a day full of welcome. Welcome, spring. The vernal equinox arrives technically at 11:32 a.m. today, Eastern Daylight Time. That fleeting moment when we don't flip our page quickly. A fleeting instant when the earth is poised precisely in its tilt. Today, we in the northern hemisphere begin to lean closer to the sun, to soak up ever more hours of daylight as it begins to outpace the night. We welcome birdsong and fresh flowers. We welcome the buds on the trees and the insects in the air. We welcome the chance to plant seeds. We welcome the chance to seed new life in the very soil that is built and sustained by the deaths of the last seasons. We've honored the holiday of Ôstara and the goddess of Ôstara with our Earth-Centered Traditions group, and have honored the special relationship that the living tradition of Unitarian Universalism has with this particular source of our faith. Our faith holds as sacred the interdependent web of all existence and reminds us that we are within that web ourselves. We are subject to the winds of the changing tilt of earth, are affected by the losses that occur and the new life that springs forward. Even as we may mourn and grieve that which felt lost, felt distant, felt inaccessible in the winter, we prepare ourselves with joy and readiness for the abundance of spring. Welcome, each and every one of you. Zoom is here. Zoom is also on the back wall and over there, but Zoom is here. Those of you here in person, those of you joining us online, those of you here joyously, those of you here nervously, those of you here virtually, you are welcome. Welcome to the newness. It's been so long since we were here. And for some of us, like me, This is our very first time worshiping together in this space. For some of us, this is a long anticipated return. For some of us, the best, the safest, the most comfortable, the most convenient choice is to share this worship virtually. We welcome the chance to make our service accessible to all of you. We welcome all of you, no matter your own circumstances today at this moment. The world is shifting. Welcome. Welcome to newness and comfort, to challenge and to joy, to the renewal of relationship and to the realization of loss. Welcome to a season of abundance. There is a beautiful symmetry here today that I'd like to draw your attention to. 2 years ago, before this congregation could celebrate Ôstara in March of 2020, the challenging and necessary decision was made to move worship online. When we saw the COVID numbers shifting, we also saw a joyous opportunity to pick up where we left off, to remind ourselves of the web of connections we have to each other and to the cycles and patterns and seasons of Earth, and that these connections have waxed and waned over the past 2 years, but they would wax and wane over any 2 years. We have done the work of weaving. We have woven the pandemic into our lives. The pain of it, the change of it, the way it contains both losses and some gifts, and the complicated way that it tugs and pulls on the web, and the ways that we respond to the constant shifting and changing with every pull. The web is always shifting and changing. This does not intend to diminish in any way the nearly 1 million lives lost in the United States alone in the last 2 years of pandemic. It does invite us to consider, to appreciate, and to honor our survival. We welcome the resilience of spring, and we seek to cultivate it within ourselves. We seek the comfort of our faith community to support us on the days it feels like resilience is far from our reach. And together here today, we have witnessed the Ôstara ritual planting a seed of intention. And to honor one of my own most sacred rituals, I would like to add to the seed of intention that we have planted here today. I would like to add the gift of these words from the poet Ada Limon. Her poem is entitled, Instructions on Not Giving Up. More than the fuchsia funnels breaking out of the crabapple tree, more than the neighbor's almost obscene display of cherry limbs shoving their cotton candy-colored blossoms to the slate sky of spring rains, it's the greening of the trees that really gets to me. When all the shock of white and taffy, the world's baubles and trinkets leave the pavement strewn with the confetti of aftermath, the leaves come, patient, plodding, a green skin growing over whatever winter did to us, a return to the strange idea of continuous living despite the mess of us, the hurt, the empty. Fine then, I'll take it, the tree seems to say, a new slick leaf unfurling like a fist to an open palm. I'll take it all. Whatever winter did to us, we're here. And the green is returning. All the grandeur and heartache, all the comfort and challenge. Let's take it. Let's take it all. So may it be.
Challenge for you. I have a challenge for the sound team, too. The next hymn is maybe less familiar. The words will be up here. I would invite you to try joining and singing, even if it's not 100% familiar. It's a zippy little thing. It's all about praise and springtime.
Praise to God and thanks we bring, hearts rejoice and voices sing. Praises to the glorious one, for a year of wonders done. Praise now for the budding green, April's and with love. Praise now for the summer rain, feeding day and night with grain. Praise now for tiny seed, holding all the world shall need. Praise now for the garden root, meadow grass and orchard fruit, and for hills and valleys broad, bring we now our thanks to God. Praise now for the snowy rest, falling soft on nature's breast, for the happy dreams of birth, brooding in the quiet earth, for the sheer of wonder done. Praise to thee, O glorious one, hearts rejoice and voices sing, praise and love and thanks we bring.
At this time in our service each week, we invite you into generosity. This congregation relies on the time, the talent, and the treasure of its members and friends in order to maintain our community, to grow our capacity, and to thrive, both now and in the years to come. It's usual to pass a basket at this time, but this service we have designated baskets at the back of the sanctuary if you wish to contribute on your way out. It is also the practice of this congregation to share each week's offering with an organization serving our community that upholds our values. March's Share the Play partner is Planned Parenthood of York. Planned Parenthood is one of the nation's leading providers of high-quality, affordable health care and the nation's largest provider of sex education. Here's a video they have provided for us.
These are the doors to Planned Parenthood. They're just doors, really. But what makes these doors different is the fundamental misunderstanding about what goes on behind them. But here's the thing, what we do isn't a secret. It's quality healthcare for women, men, and young people. STI testing, well woman exams, birth control, pregnancy tests, family planning, sexual assault consultations, and safe, legal abortion. All from a team of people who happen to be acutely dedicated and highly equipped to serve you. There is no mystery here. What's behind these doors is a safe haven for anyone who needs it. There is no judgment, no agenda, just exceptional healthcare and our stories. From the clinicians to physicians, medical directors and office managers, from the medical assistants to front office specialists to you, the people we serve. We are all Planned Parenthood, and Planned Parenthood takes care of all of us.
Now, we have our ritual of returning the coroners. This is where we invite the spirits that joined us to leave. We thank the Lord and the Lady for your attendance. We bid you farewell. Leave if you must, stay if you like. Guardian of the North, thank you for your attendance. We bid you farewell. Leave if you must, stay if you like. Guardian of the West, we are grateful for your attendance. We bid you farewell. Leave if you must, stay if you like. Guardian of the South, we are grateful for your attendance. We bid you farewell. Leave if you must, stay if you like. Guardian of the East, thank you for your attendance. We bid you farewell. Leave if you must, stay if you like. Please join us in extinguishing our chalice and your home chalices if you have lit them with these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
We extinguish the chalice here, so that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light your path as you leave this place. May it guide your way until we are together again.
We have come to that time in our service when I invite us to notice that our worship has completed and our service will now begin. I have a little housekeeping to do, even though it's the benediction. We will have a sending song that I'll invite you to try and sing along with and pick up the words. We've used it a lot. It's called We Shall Be Known, and it's such a wonderful song. And then I will have a few short announcements afterwards. We are trying to keep the service to about 45 minutes so that we can have our second service. We're doing well. The ushers will be dismissing you after announcements. I will shake hands outside. We will make this work. Thank you all for hanging in there. Blessings upon you all, the blessings of spring, of abundance, of the longer days. For those of you who take more comfort in the dark of the year, know that the cycle will eventually return, that in the fullness of time, all will be known.
We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. We shall be known by the company we keep, by the ones who circle round to tend these fires. We shall be known by the ones who sow and reap the seeds of change alive from deep within the earth. It is time now. It is time now that we thrive. It is time we lead ourselves into the well. It is time now, and what a time to be alive. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love. In this great turning we shall learn to lead in love.